What is up, Team Happy and Fit? It feels so good to be connected with all of you. So many of you just went to Summit for the first time, second time. Actually, in the comments, can you write how many summits you've been to? And maybe you just bought your ticket for the first time. So say if you bought your ticket first time, second time. This was my fourth summit, second time. Do you all feel like, for those of you who've been there for at least 2 times, that this was your favorite one? Man, I don't know what it was, but it was just so different. And I've been to 4. And I left, I kind of felt bad because I was like, Eric, that was the best summit I've ever been to. And he wasn't there, but it really was. I couldn't even deny it. And oh my gosh, that was a cool moment, probably my favorite moment. And for those of you who are newer and you don't know about Summit, actually, my first year, I signed up in May, and Summit happened in July, and I did not go. I didn't go. I saw all the hype, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get there. And so I made sure that I was at Summit that following year. I bought my ticket right away when everyone was at Summit, and I was watching. From the sidelines. I was watching what was happening. I still was super confused on what it was, but I made a commitment to go. And then when I went with just Lauren Lundberg, who is on our team, who is now my personally, I sponsor her. She was not my personally sponsored coach. That's a weird flip. I'm her coach. You get what I'm saying? But at the time, I wasn't her coach. And then the next year, we might have had 8 people from Team Happy and Fit go. And then the next year, it was more. And then this last time, I don't even know how many of us there were. It's like, to be honest. And so if you just can trust that process, that's what happens. Like, I used to know the exact number, Elizabeth Holstein was there, and I was like, I didn't even know you were here. And I just gave her a big hug. And I was like, what is even happening? Which was so awesome. Yeah, we're going to go for 200. I bet we max out of that. I bet I for sure do. And so if you have not gotten your ticket, it's $130. You guys help 3 people. That covers your Summit ticket. You help 3 people in your business. That covers the cost of your Summit ticket. That is so cheap. I think it ended up being $275. If you are a brand new coach and you've signed up this month, if you hit Success Club for 3 months in a row, you get a free ticket. Your ticket is free. Success Club is helping 3 people with the challenge pack for 3 months in a row. I know Morgan Schaefer was a success starter. I'm trying to look for some other success starters on here that were able to go. So for free, which is so awesome. Sarah Scott was another. But I am buying my ticket. I'm getting Eric a ticket. And we have a Summit page to help you figure out lodging. Wasn't that so awesome, that page, being able to coordinate, being able to see where you can stay for a cheaper price, but then also get the experience of meeting people. The weirdest thing I would ask was the weirdest thing meeting someone in person, their height? And I remember Morgan's like, yes, that's the only weird thing. Oh, I just flung this over. Otherwise, you're just used to everybody, and it's not even weird. Brittany Burmeister was telling me a story of when she met Danny. They forgot that they hadn't met in person, that they just were like chatting and riding in the car, and they're like, wait, this is the first time actually hanging out in person. Like, this isn't weird at all, which is really cool. So I am going to share my favorite things about Summit, and then we're going to go ahead and pass the mic. Whoever wants to share. First and foremost, Team Happy and Fit, I'm so tall, that's so funny, I am so proud of what this team represents. I think maybe that was the reason why I love Summit so much. I don't think that all of you learned insane new information, and maybe that gives you more confidence in this of like, wow, I know a lot more than I thought, or maybe it just gave you a belief in the team. Or just this like burning desire, because my first summit that I went to, I sat in those seats, and Julie Voris, she won that leadership trophy. Do you remember that? She's blonde. She lives in Indianapolis. She was the person I heard in a breakout session that I sat in my seat crying, and I said, I can do this. I'm going to do this. I was an Emerald coach. I sat in those seats, and whatever she said, I can't even tell you what it was that she said. It's how she made me feel. She made me feel like I could do it. And I did. I quit my job 6 months later. I don't ever leave this team to quit jobs. That's not what I stand for. What I stand for is getting fit in every area of your life. And if that is saying no to a job that's not serving you anymore, awesome. If that's helping you restore relationships in your life, awesome. If that helps you lose 50 pounds, awesome. But I just need you to know that. I had such belief in it. And this last time at Summit, I felt the energy of this team. Like when they did This Is Me, the song at the end, I stood up. I was like the only one standing. Like, I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but there was no one else standing. And I just couldn't even, wasn't aware. But you know what's cool is I felt you. I was like, I know my team is singing and freaking out about this right now. I know they are. I felt you. And I was just thinking, I was like, dang, like we have the coolest team. I just am so proud of what Team Happy and Fit has become. My first summit that I went to, Team Happy and Fit didn't exist. It didn't. And when I made a decision to go for it, this is what happened from that. And I also want you to think about your Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, people at the airport. Did anyone say, oh, are you here for that Beachbody thing? Did anyone that you talked to, a waiter, a waitress, did they say, oh, is it that P90X thing? Is that insanity thing? Did you have anyone say that to you? That is proof, though, that not everybody knows about this. It's true. It's like when I was on an airplane, I talked to this guy, Tristan, and I was like, oh, have you ever heard of Beachbody? He's like, yeah, I think so. And I was telling him about it. And I was like, man, like we think in scarcity when we're on social media and we're like, everyone does this. No, they don't. And so I hope that summit gave you the realization that you can do this and that the secret is the vital behaviors. That if you're consistent with that, that's the formula, is being a product of the product, sharing this responsibility, really working on your mindset and celebrating other people. For those of you who did not go to Summit, please feed off the energy of everybody who did. Like, don't look at this as like, I'm falling behind. Now I'm screwed. I'm never going to be successful. Like, don't think that, because I am proof that I didn't go to a summit and I fed off the energy of everybody who did. And then I went that next year and it changed my life. I am proof of that. I am proof that if you look at this as like, man, this is the way I can do this, like I'm going to do it. So a couple of my takeaways is that your body is your storefront. That if you want to get better at inviting, get better results. That if you want to have a better business, work on yourself better. And it's not sharing, oh, I just did day 7 of the 21-day fix. That's not how you market this. You market you. This is, you share your story of, oh, I was just talking to a girl, you guys, she's in a challenge group. She has a coach. It was crazy. I reached out to her, invited her. 2 people today that I invited are already working in a challenge group with a coach, probably someone on the team. And was I embarrassed? No. I was like, they're actually like, oh, like I'm already in a group. And I was like, that's awesome. And the one girl's like, actually, and I was like, how was your weekend? Is what I said. Because I'm not just out to make a sale. I'm out to build relationships. And so I was like, oh, how was your weekend? And she's like, good. I crushed my workout yesterday and I'm lacking the motivation right now. And I said, go do it and send me a post-workout selfie. Once you're done, you're going to feel so good. Give it 5 minutes. She sent it to me and she goes, thank you. And I said, you're actually more powerful than the motivation that you feel like you need to lean on. Motivation isn't the thing that gets us to the thing. It's our mindset and consistency and commitment. That I get it. Like, where if you're just to be like, oh, like I want to go for diamond and you're so inconsistent, it's not going to happen. You're not going to always feel motivated to share your story or to get results, but you just do it. Like, that's just what you do. And then you're going to feel better because of that. I want to share with you a game plan, but my number 1 goal for next year. Oh my gosh, I'm going to throw up. So number 1, I really want someone in Team Happy and Fit to be in the Beachbody Challenge. When they, like in the finals, like I want someone that their story is on at Summit and they're on stage and like they are, I want one of us to introduce them. That's like the whole time that was happening. You guys, someone lost 87 pounds or 78 pounds, 178 pounds. There was like 95 pounds, 115 pounds. And I just was sitting there and I was like, this has to be our team next year. Like that would be equal to becoming an elite team to me. Like that is everything. And so that is my number one goal. I'm putting that out there. So for whoever's ready to take that challenge, I'm like, I believe that you can do it. Number two, what about a superstar team? That's so scary. Do you know how hard that is? Like that's hard. Like that's not, that means like, you guys, that means no BS. Like that doesn't mean like, oh, no, it means like we're in and it is complicated. Like you have to have at least 5 personally sponsored diamonds on each leg. So it's not like having 9 on one and like, it's literally like you have to have at least 5 on each side for it to even count. Meaning like we could be a 10-star team really soon here, but we may not be because of one leg. Like we might have like 7 PS or diamonds on this side and only 4 on this, and we still wouldn't be 10-star. You have to be 5 on 5 on each. And the same thing is with 15-star. It is so hard. Like out of the network, there are not that many teams. I know I was like, let's go for 10-star. Now I'm like, what about a superstar team next year? You guys, it's hard. Like it's a decision, but I don't think it's impossible because it's been done. Trina Gray was walking on stage when she got up there for superstar, I think. This was crazy. I don't know if you guys saw her, but where I was sitting, I looked at her and she looks at me and she goes, "You're next." And like, it was like this, like, and then I go, "I know." Like, it was just like my response, but I was like, why not? Why not? But the thing is I'm committed. I'm in this, but this like elite and any kind of goal like this is not done alone. And I'm in, but I just don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it. But I hope what this does for you is when you see me elevating my dreams and vision, that you do the same for yourself, that you can just make this happen. I was talking to Morgan Schaefer today and I said, you guys could be a 2-star team by the end of the year if you just decided to. Like you could do that. And Marjorie and Ashley, like that could happen. Like, because I see what they're doing, I see their belief, I see what's going on, that if you guys made the decision together, you guys could all be a 2-star team, like hands down. It's just a decision. Let's not overcomplicate it. My favorite thing besides the Beachbody Challenge and feeling y'all during the song was that your success rate is 3% alone. That whole idea of the lightning bugs, that for mating, they blink individually, and that for their mating, that it's a 3% chance that they actually reproduce. But if there's only 2 places in the whole world, I want to say it was Indonesia and Tennessee, is that there's one place that looks like lightning, that they all synced together and blinked. I think it was like a millisecond, like it was crazy, but it increased their reproduction by 83%, meaning their success rate together is 83%. And that is this team, that you cannot do this alone. You cannot do coaching on a lonely island. You cannot do it alone. I've never done this alone. I've always leaned into my mentors. I've always leaned into Zooms. I jump on other Zooms that I don't lead because I need to learn and keep growing. And I just think that it's better together, that when you connect, instead of being like, I don't know anybody, or I'm feeling left out, like you cannot play the blame game. Like that is no one's responsibility but yourself to make sure that you make this happen. Does that make sense? I massively believe in your ability to change so many lives, including your own. I see more pep in your step. I see like this, like I loved when Maddie was like, hey, like yesterday we were on a Q&A and she was talking about her friends list. And I loved that you were like, it is so silly that people would pay attention to that. Like that people, it's that whole philosophy of like, who would you rather hang out with? Do you want to hang out with the judgmental person and insecure person and the person who picks apart your success? Or do you want to hang around the person who works on themselves, who elevates themselves, who's more encouraging, who's been positive, who loves health and wellness? And that is, I feel like when you create this tribe and you lean into it, you're like, yeah, I'd rather be someone like Trina Gray. Like, yeah, I would rather be like someone who can walk into a room and they just light it up. Like, I would instead of someone who's like, oh, your posts are annoying, or you're like, why do you have that many Facebook friends? Or that's stupid that you're doing this. Like, I don't want to hang out with those type of people. I don't want to be influenced by those type of people. That if people think of what you're doing is stupid, see ya later. Like, that's not what we're about. And I think that this community can remind us of that, because the more you grow, the more you're going to see a separation in your mindset and your hard work and what you want out of life. So many people hit cruise control. So many people are so okay with doing nothing. People are okay with letting dreams go. They let failure get the best of them. I think failure is a sign that you're doing something, and I will breathe that into you. And also, lastly, is that it's so crazy to me that people feel guilty spending time on helping others and working out and self-care, but they don't feel guilty about binge watching TV for 4 straight hours in a row. Shift, right? Like, make the shift. And if someone can't understand that and they project their insecurities onto you, don't give them that power. Just don't. So that kind of goes with inviting. Stop overcomplicating it. You're inviting to this feeling, this mindset, this confidence, I want to hang out with positive people. You're inviting to, like, I just love not surrounding myself with judgmental people. You're inviting to people. I really am inspired that my friends love taking care of themselves. I'm really inspired that my people love life. I love surrounding myself with people who just want to think better and be better, and they want to work on their relationships, work through hard things. I love surrounding myself with people, instead of body bashing and bashing others, that they tackle life and they just rock it out. Gosh, yes, right? Okay, so that's all I have. I took a lot of notes, and before I open it up to all of you guys, this is what I need you to do. Some it's overwhelming when you get home. You're like, yes, I'm going to be on that stage next year. And then are you like, crap, what do I do? Like, this is so much. This is what you need to do. You need to unpack. Who's unpacked on here? I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. You're not my friends. Like, I'm over this. I'm just joking. My suitcase is full right there. Just kidding. So I need you to unpack. That I'm speaking for myself as well. Unpack, debrief, work on yourself. And this is what I need you to do. I need you to look through your notes and rewrite them or retype them up. Oh, see, look, I know who my real friends are over here. But take your notes and rewrite them. Retype them. Go through them. Highlight them. Underline them. And then I want you to take like 3 things you're going to implement. But if you took all these notes, you guys, I always go back to my notes, always. And the reason I on Saturday chat or Zooms I lead, sometimes if I'm looking for inspiration, I just go through my notebook because there's gold in here. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go through and be like, oh my gosh, that's right, I starred that. Why did that matter to me? And then after you do that, you can share that with the team. You can share that with your family. So I want you to unpack. I want you to rewrite your notes, go through your notes. And then thirdly, after this, after a couple days, not right now, is I want you to set goals for what you want and why you want them. It's kind of that whole philosophy of when we had to say what we're grateful for. We couldn't just say what we were grateful for. We said, why are we grateful for it? And so I don't want you just to set a goal. Like, you guys, remember when Sean Anker said that success doesn't lead to happiness, happiness leads to success? Diamond doesn't equal happiness. Like, diamond doesn't equal a thriving, insane business. It's your journey to get there. It's your belief in other people. It's because you think you deserve it. Because anyone can be that. It's just a decision. But so many people think like, oh, I can't. There's not enough. Maybe you're thinking, I didn't go to Summit, so there's no way I could do this. your happiness is not based off of a goal and hitting it. It's the happiness is based that you were brave enough to go for it, that you're brave enough to do it. And then you're going to realize, oh my gosh, like it wasn't that hard, or maybe it was hard and you did it, and that's your reward. So what I want you to do is unpack, rewrite your notes. And for those of you who did not go, I believe all the materials are up. I'll post that in the team page, all the workshop videos. I'll organize it, don't worry. And I want you to watch it. And then I want you to set a goal. I just told you, Beachbody Challenge. I want someone from our team to do that. And Superstar team. That's my goal. We're going to be a 7-star team in a week. We're 6-star team on Thursday. Guys, we're 6-star team on Thursday. Isn't that awesome? And then the following week, we're a 7-star team. So we're halfway there. We can do it. Okay. All right. I am going to open up the mic. I would actually love to hear from Kente first. Is that okay that I just like called you out like that? But I'm just like, I'm a little bit like freaking out over here. Can you share, what did you love about Summit? This is your first time. Talk to us.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. I'm really camera shy, so I'll say my biggest takeaway from Summit, there was 2 of them. One was faith over fear, a very common theme that you hear from a lot of people. I'm living vicariously through my wife here, but a lot of people are scared. Like, they don't know what to expect. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they can afford it. They don't know if they have what it takes. But honestly, it comes down to believing in yourself, which was funny. It's the theme of Summit, believe in you. So the more we get to help people believe in themselves, the more they'll trust their faith and not their fears, and not let their fears overcome them. That was my first takeaway. The second one was trust the process more than chase the success or the ranks or the levels. From the get-go, at Julianne and everyone on the team, as soon as I met them, I heard stories like, oh, we saw people at the airport and they were introducing themselves by their rank. That doesn't really mean anything. You have to be great at a business to operate and get to that point, or even get further. So your current rank now kind of is irrelevant to who you really are and who you show up as. So that's something that I took away as well. So just a round of, I want some knowledge. I want to know who is the best on the team with the process side of the business. That's something I want to make sure I get a hold of and understand as quickly as possible, so I can kind of take it and run with it and share with others. So if anyone has any recommendation on who they believe is really, really good at that, I want to connect with that person so we can have a chat and talk.
Yay!
But those were my top 2 takeaways.
You're amazing. And I think too, like, I wonder if people like introducing I was like, that's why I made a post about that. I was like, you guys, please do not introduce yourselves based on your rank. Please, like, you are not that. And I think it's significance. I think people crave significance and want like validation, and you as a person is enough. So I love that you said that. And you should follow Scotty Hobbs on YouTube and Jamie Fitzpatrick. Those are 2 men that are really leading the way in Beachbody as men. And same with Miguel. He was the one who received the CEO award. And I think that you following, there's another one. I want to say it's, I'll look for some more, but I think you being able to see how other men are doing this would be huge. But remember that your story is enough. That's going to connect with people enough. So thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. All right. Okay. Do you want me to call on people randomly, or do you just want to volunteer? Okay. We'll go with Brittany Burmeister.
Okay. It's not so random when you go in order of the videos, Julianne. I have 2. I got the B. I know that it hangs out right next to yours. I see it. 2 really, well, 3. I'm just going to say 3 words for my first one, and that's pumpkin spice Shakeology. Yes. But in serious takeaways, the first one, I think, it was from the workshops, and it was, if you love others hard, this business won't be difficult. And to tie into that one was that unloved people don't want to be led. And so it's your job to love them, and in turn, they'll want to be led by you. The second, like, huge thing that I've seen so many posts on, like, I remember Morgan Schaefer did a post on this yesterday that really killed it, and it was awesome. And I'm really trying to, like, focus on that every day. And this is not an opportunity. It is a responsibility that we have. And I think that is just so freaking huge for us to remember, that we are not offering an opportunity. We are taking that responsibility for essentially changing the world and changing lives. And that's what makes us so different.
Yes, that's awesome. I love that so much. And unloved people don't want to be led. And stop trying to lead the people that keep leading you on, that they are literally driving you crazy because it's like you just keep waiting for them. Do yourself a favor and talk to more people. Don't give up on them, but don't wait around, because there are people who need your help. Turner.
Sorry, I was typing. So I have a few takeaways, but two of them were ones that I had heard probably 6 or 7 times before I went to Summit, and it was like sitting in those seats that made me finally like realize it. But making a to-do list every night before I go to bed, I feel like it's so easy to wake up and not know like what you want to do, and you just look at your empty tracker and you're like, okay, like I have a list of everything I need to do, but when am I gonna do it? Like I need like specific, like this is what you're gonna do, this is when you're gonna do it. And then setting business hours, with being like with working and being a student, like it's really easy to just like try to cram the business in whenever I can. But I need to be more intentional about when I'm cramming it in, and being disciplined enough to be like, these aren't my business hours. This isn't what I'm supposed to be working on right now. And then kind of disciplining myself. And then the biggest new things I learned was setting a timer to like beat it, because like your mind will automatically try to beat the time, and then using a different tracker for different seasons. So since I am a student, like during the semester, my classes, and that schedule is way different than like my summer schedule. So my tracker and my seasons of life are different. And I just need to embrace them and just do what I can in those seasons instead of trying to show up the same I do in the summer versus the semester.
I love that. Sam.
Hi. So what I learned was actually really personal, but on the last day when we were sitting in the individual sessions, I'm literally sitting with my upline coach, which is Liz. And I think it was the day before, actually, I think it was the same day, they were talking about that 80-20 rule, not with nutrition, but with coaches. And she said, work with existing sparks versus rubbing 2 sticks together. And like I said, I'm sitting right next to my upline coach, and I'm just like, this is me. I'm that 20% that I say I want something and I don't do it. And I can't tell you guys how many times I've talked to Julianne and Liz and Amanda that I'm like, I'm going to do this, and then I don't do it. And so I just really ended up realizing that all these times that I thought I believed in myself, or that I said I wanted something, I didn't actually truly believe it. So when I was starting to envision, like last year, I'm like, yeah, I want to be a 3-star team. I didn't actually think I could do it. And every time I set a goal, I never really felt connected to it. And so as I'm sitting there through all these sessions, I actually had a very negative mindset for the first 2 days, and finally came out of that. I felt just really positive and inspired and empowered that I don't want to be that 20%. I really hate being that 20%. And I really want to be the 80%. And like, I've cried a lot about it. And just, I think being called out in a way that was like, it was personal to me, but it felt really public. Like, I know so many people know how I am in this business. So it was actually kind of, it wasn't shameful, but it's like, okay, people know this is me now. I got to fix this situation. So I think just, I learned a lot about myself that I didn't realize I didn't already know. That makes sense?
Oh, so many feels to you. And maybe it was just feeling frustrated because you know you deserve it. And it's like, why can't I figure this thing out? Like, why can't I just make it happen? And it's just the action of just like follow through. And I'm just really proud of you for sharing your vulnerability around that. And I'm really excited to continue to watch you. You guys, Sam and her team are Ruby team, and Ruby does not happen really. And so they're really close to doing more with a vision that it's going to be led with you, Sam. So I'm really proud of you. All right, who wants to go next? Morgan, Carrie, Erica, Bridget.
I
I'll
can
go.
share a little bit.
Unless someone else.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Morgan. You want to go first? Okay. So one of my big takeaways from Summit was to treat everyone as an individual person. I feel like there were a couple different coaches who really talked about just getting back to the basics. Facebook, social media, that's an awesome part of our business and super helpful, but the foundation is us and creating real relationships with others. So that was just really helpful for me to hear, especially because sometimes I do shy away from the in-person conversations, getting on the phone, setting up an actual play date, you know, for me, kids. And because it's hard with kids, but it's something I really want to work on in the next year with our team. I know there are a ton of people in Milwaukee, and we need to have some more Team Happy and Fit events in Milwaukee. But also just with like setting up one-on-one phone calls with people and more for my personal team. So that was one of my big takeaways. And then I had a second one, but I can't remember. So I'm going to pass it on to Morgan. So go ahead.
Okay. So I guess for me, even just like the simple fact of sitting in a stadium with thousands of other coaches was such a humbling experience. Just looking around and not judging, just looking around and seeing that literally coaching is for everyone. I feel like sometimes, at least for me, I struggle with thinking that like I need to look or act like the top coaches, and I just really get in my head about it. I'm like I can't be a Beachbody coach. Like, who am I? Like, how are people going to look at me and think that I'm a coach when, you know, there's these other great coaches. So I think just being around all of those other coaches and realizing that they're just like you and just like me is really humbling and really empowering, that like anybody can do this business. And this business is like so much more than just us. You know, we really need to take the lens off of ourselves and realize that we're literally like changing people's lives. Like, it's a very big deal. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I cried a lot. Like during the transformation stories, like all of that stuff, because it's like we make it about us sometimes, and we really can't do that. We need to think about the people who need our help and reach out to them, even if we're afraid, even if we think they're going to say no. Like, we could change somebody's life, and that's really huge. So that was just very humbling. And I guess just a really simple thing that I also took away is just inviting. Like, I say I invite, but do I actually invite as much as I should? Probably not. And so I just spending more time in my inbox inviting. That's going to be the very first thing that I do whenever I check my phone, is going to be sending out a couple invites before I do anything else. So
yeah, and not overcomplicating an invite, because it's a conversation and relationship building to an amazing community that you're not inviting to something you don't believe in. You're inviting to something that's transformed your life. You literally said you weren't happy or fit when you became a coach, and now that you are, and you're transforming, you've lost 20 pounds. Adam has lost 30. You're helping other women get started with their own businesses. Adam is now starting and sharing his journey. He wants to reach more men. And I just can't help but think when you're inviting to a transformation. You're inviting to something that's going to transform a marriage, whatever, a life. And so when we can look at inviting like that, it becomes less of a obligation and more of an experience of excitement. So thank you for sharing that. Does everyone want to hear from David right now? Is that what I'm feeling? Yes. Okay, David, take it away. I hope you're here because I can't see you right now. Is he on? Oh, there he is. Can you chat? Oh, trying to get baby. Okay, we'll come back to you, I promise. All right, who wants to share? Who's next?
I can go ahead.
Great, go ahead, Amanda.
So I like that Maddie kind of shouted out me and Morgan for being new full-time Diamond coaches, because I think when you guys see that, you don't really know what's going on behind the picture. And I haven't really spoken about this a lot, but like you seriously just have to believe in this and have that faith over your fear, because you guys, like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this financially. Like, it's not there. I don't have the savings. Like, it makes me really nervous talking about it, but like, I don't have insurance because we're not married yet. Like, I have nothing figured out, but I believe that it's going to work. And like, just going to Summit kind of drove that into me, like, that this is possible. I know I have chills too. But when I see like the people up there on the stage, I'm not putting them above me, because I know that they started where I'm at. And yeah, I mean, it was time for me to take the leap. But like, before Summit, I was so nervous. Like, you can ask the girls that I talked to before. I was freaking out on the last day of my job because of insurance. And like, that's not something that I should be freaking out about. Like, I should just be going for my dreams. And like, Summit kind of just drove that into me. Yeah, I was freaked out. But I know it's possible, and it totally is. Like, you just have to believe that you can do it, but then implement everything that you learn. And that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now, is just implementing everything.
I hope you're reading the chat, because it's all the feels and all the love. I don't think I talk about this a lot, is when I first became a Diamond coach, and then when I quit my job, everything was uncertain. I should seriously go look at what my volume was, because I was not, any kind of money that I was making in the business was all commission based. There was no team cycle. So it was me relying on me hitting Success Club and helping people. And when I took that leap, I think in the entire downline, you guys are going to have people. The cool thing about this is that based on where you're placed, you'll have more people in your downline than I did. I didn't have any help. And I know that might be a little bit confusing. So just say, if you log into your back office and you see that you have a new coach, but it's not anyone that you helped get started, that means that someone has helped you. I didn't have that. And I remember we rolled into the new year. I just launched Team Happy&Fit, and I just quit my job. Amanda, same feeling. What did I just do? And I didn't even give myself time to think about it. I just got to work, and that's the first year we went elite. It was like the most magical thing of hard work and grit. I just didn't allow myself to get like in a weird place. I'm really proud of you. I see a lot of me in you. Who wants to go next? Elizabeth, Caitlin, Jess, Jordan.
All right, I can go. Sorry, I'll try to go quick without the baby being too loud. I think my biggest takeaway is I noticed that, like, during the school year when I'm subbing, I actually have more time to work my business then than I do when I'm at home with my kids all the time. And I know that sounds really odd, especially those of you that aren't parents yet. But, like, when I'm home, I just really need to be present, because I've got a newly 5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 7-month-old, and they're busy. But having a couple of the moms speak at the workshops was awesome, because they talked about how, don't set goals that are unrealistic, And I have found myself doing that sometimes. And especially being at home during the summer, setting unrealistic goals that honestly would be better set during the school year when I'm out of the home some. And then, going back to setting my timer for tasks and, getting crap done and getting back off, because I can't be on my phone all the time with them or bad stuff would happen. But I think that was just kind of my biggest takeaway is, just don't set unrealistic goals, but get in and get your crap done.
Yes. Okay, she's adorable. And what if like maybe you guys make like a mom club where maybe, or even just in Team Happy and Fit, you moms just share a pro tip for the day, where you're just like, hey moms, just help each other out. Give each other some advice on what's working for you, I think could be really helpful. All right, who is next? Thanks for sharing, Kristen. Misty, Jill, Kristen.
I'll go quick. Okay. Oh, someone else on.
Go ahead, Maddie.
Okay. I just looked at my phone just because I have gotten an insane amount because I tagged Indianapolis in 2 of my posts. I've gotten an insane amount of other coaches following me. And so I only know that a lot too, though, because I was reading their captions, not by their pictures. And so try and keep that in mind in how you're spending your time. So yes, it's really cool that they're out there and that we can all be friends and gathering, but that's not using your time effectively and efficiently. So I know some people are kind of torn right now because we like each other's posts and everything, but it pops up then the top of our news feed, and so we're not seeing other people's posts. So also, like, no offense, but I've unfollowed a lot of you, but I'm going to keep tabs and go through your posts and like them to show you love. But I need to grow my network as well. So try not to be offended by that. So I like the pods right now because I'm getting updates on people's posts so that I know to go look at your page.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Huge advocate for this, because so many of you will be like, hey, did you see that last post? And I'm like, no, I don't watch your stories. I love you all so much. I love you all so much, but I don't watch your stories. And I think it's really great to be influenced. You should never know more about someone else than that's in this. You should know more about the people that you want to help. And I think that, oh, Maddie, this is huge, because no one should take offense to this, because it creates a space of comparison, wasting time, all these things that will suck the life out of you and suck the life out of what you want to create for yourself. And I think we've all created a space and a community of being okay with that is the vibe of our tribe. That doesn't mean we don't love each other if we're not watching you 24/7. We want you to be successful. And the reason and the way that you're going to do that is you're going to authentically connect with other people. So I'm really proud of you for saying that. I honor that right now, because it isn't a personal thing. It's just like, you guys spend your time wisely. And if it is like get in and get out and focus on who you can build relationships with. Another thing that I noticed is it's cool that you said that you didn't even know they were coaches. It means that their pictures and that their social media is telling a story of them and not a company. And so when you guys are looking at your social media, just make sure that you're sharing you. Kind of what my tip was, your body is your storefront. Your transformation is your storefront. Your story is your storefront. Your journey is your storefront. Your community is your storefront. Not a Beachbody program, not Shakeology, not beach bars, but it's just your journey of transformation that is really going to change someone's life. Kristen, go ahead and go, sister.
Okay, so I had a lot of the same takeaways that other people have already said, but I really, really love listening to Trina, and so she's just amazing. So from her presentation, I have the 6 things, and to me they were just huge. Like, never forget your enthusiasm counts the most, and that people need you. And don't forget the people in your area. So we all love social media, and I love to be in connection with like you in California or Texas or wherever. I'm in Wisconsin. But she said that her first 5 stars, her first 5 diamond coaches were like in her immediate area where she lived in Michigan. She also said, don't hide it. Like, don't be embarrassed about it. Put it out there. Own the fact that you're a coach for Beachbody and embrace it. And I love that. Tell people you're going somewhere and show them. Paint the picture for everybody else about what you want. And when in doubt, invite to the team. And that was my other big takeaway, was to invite to the community. Don't invite, invite to the business, of course, but it's really, for me, it's about the community. That's like the best part about this business. It's not the fact that, oh, I got a Beachbody t-shirt and it's really cute and it says this on it. But invite to the community, because every single person on our team is amazing. And not all teams are like that. I actually work with a girl that is on a different team, and she's like, I don't know, I just think Beachbody is ripping you off. And I'm like, how if you don't love it, then get out, right? Oh shoot, there was something else. Well, either way, this year was so much more amazing than last year. I totally agree. I guess that's all.
Invite to the community. Is it okay to say you're a Beachbody coach? I think people put red flags. It's just different than when I got started. So what are other ways that you can talk about this? I think that everyone knows I'm a coach is what I think, but that's not the case. But people know that I have a business. People know that I belong to a community, and people know that I am in health and wellness. And it's because of how I market my story. Does that make sense? So I don't say a lot of Beachbody lingo. In one of my pictures, in our group picture, it said Beachbody on the back. So obviously if someone's watching me, they'd be able to tell. But I just share me. I love that I get to build a business with people that I love. I love that my business reflects on becoming the best version of yourself. That's kind of how I talk about it. I love being a mentor and encouraging other women or men to go for it. I love being able to get fit at life with a bunch of other people who want to get fit at life. Like, there's other ways of wording it, so people know that you're doing something. And I think that's what's really important too, is do you have something that people know that they can join? Or are you just sharing your journey? Are you just sharing what you're doing, but you're not showing and sharing that they can do it too? A lot of people are going to watch you and encourage you. It's kind of like a baseball game or a basketball game or something, but it's like, are they allowed to play too? And so make sure that when you're talking about it, that you have room for them, that they can do this with you. And how do you do that? That you message people who like and comment on your stuff, saying, I did this today. Hey, thanks for showing me love on my transformation post. I would love for you to join my next group. I was very vague about it. Well, what's your next group? Let me tell you more. Or, hey girl, I've been thinking about you. You really need to join my community. I think you'd really love it. Well, tell me more about it. Great, I will. You know what I'm saying? There's just ways of doing that, if that makes sense. So I love that you said that. I love that you love Trina. She literally is so awesome. And I've learned so much from her. And I just appreciate her wisdom all the time. Who else would like to share? These are so good.
Can I go?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a couple of things. So the first thing is about the Beat Your Best that's coming up next month. Some of the girls that have won the Team Cup in the past, one of them said that every time they do that, they always do something that they've never done before, that scares them, and then that helps them grow. So that was the first thing. And then the other thing that really spoke to me, which was kind of what Erica had said, was that this business is a person-to-person business. It's not person-to-people. And the last thing that I want to share is that when you're posting, and I think this kind of goes with what I just said, but when you're posting, sorry, I can't read my writing. It's
you're marketing and it matters, but your business can't thrive on marketing alone.
I agree with that 100%. It is person to person. And what does that mean? That means that what Erica said, like you're treating people as individuals. You're not just saying a, hey girl, you're saying, hey Erica, how was your weekend? Just as much as when I messaged that girl today and she's like, oh, I'm in another group. And I'm like, how was your weekend? I was like, that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you. This community is everything. That is so great. How was your weekend? Like, then I just like, with no end result in that. Like I was just literally like just building relationship. Does that make sense? The Beat Your Best that Jordan was talking about is next month, that you get a prize if you beat your best success club number. So if your highest success club has been 2, your highest success club has been 0, your highest success club has been 4, maybe it's been 10. You just have to beat that. But then also there's extra incentives along the way. If you help a new coach get started while beating your best, there's more to it, if that makes sense. So thanks for sharing that, Jordan. And by the way, this girl is so close to having a diamond team, which I'm really excited for her. And what that means in general is when people go emerald, you guys, it ignites their business. I say this over and over again. None of us would be here if I didn't choose to go emerald. A lot of you wouldn't be able to make the choices that you're making if you didn't decide to go emerald. And so emerald is a big deal. So what diamond represents is that you aren't the only one that's being successful on your team, that you are literally helping other people open their businesses. So when I look at Morgan Schaefer and I think about Ashley and Marjorie, that maybe you don't see it right away, but you will because you made the decision to go emerald. I think about Emily, right? I think about Kristen and Amanda and Jill, Ashley, and Nikki, and you've made the decision to move your business forward, and now you're going to be able to help other people do the same thing. You won't necessarily see a team cycle yet, but you will. And in order to get that, you have to be emerald. Emerald is that thing that's like kind of like a duh in the business, because you should want to do that, because it's literally going to, Carrie Collins is about to be an emerald coach. I'm so excited for her. This is going to change the course of her family if she just continues to do this. It's so crazy. It all starts at emerald. I can't even express it, that we have some coaches on our team that are maxing out at $250 a week because they're emerald. For literally just not quitting and keep going. It's not from hitting success. It's literally just because of what they've done. It's almost like making money overnight, and Beachbody pays you for that. Does that make sense? Emerald is a non-negotiable. You should make it happen for sure. All right, we have time for a couple more. I would love to hear from either Elizabeth, David, Ashley. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, cool. I had to just check and see if my headphones were plugged in. Okay, so one of my biggest takeaways was actually from you, Julianne, when we were in the Rockstar Fit Day. You said that sometimes people hang back because we already have a leader. Don't do that. You need to emulate what your leader is doing. So that was huge for me, especially with Carrie going emerald. I'm so excited for her. And then our team is going to be a diamond team. So I really feel like to take my leadership to the next level, I need to start creating a team page and running Zooms and just like starting to become the leader that I want to be. And it's totally fine to fail, and it's totally fine to not be successful right away and struggle and go through obstacles, because the number of failures matter more than the successes, because the obstacles are an opportunity to grow. And that was a huge thing that I learned at Summit. So I'm really excited to start doing that, implementing that with my team. That was a really huge takeaway for me. So thank you for that. And then I gotta find it. I have so many highlighted things in here. Was to create a team calendar. So that way, like, my team knows what's happening. I'm not just trying to fill people in on one-on-one Zooms. Like, it's one hub that people can go to, and then also create like a daily calendar for myself. I'm in a really unique opportunity and situation where my husband is able to cover all of our expenses, and I'm able to grow this business now. So why wait until we're in a situation where things are hard? I can create the life that my family wants and my future family, I feel like they deserve now. So I really need to like hunker down and get to work. So those were like my two biggest takeaways.
I love that. And I just can't express, maybe some of you aren't doing this for the money, but this is how I always think about that. One, I joined because of the community, but two, now I get a look at everybody who gets a paycheck on this team because they sincerely love people and love working on themselves. And I cannot tell you that out of my 4 years, the most, like, I was even thinking of like Elite Night. You guys, oh, I wish you could have seen it. That as soon as Kim Meyer's name was called, one that represents Rise and Fit to me. And when it was called, I just looked at her and we instantly started crying. And I just like ran up to her as she was walking to go on stage. And I just gave her the biggest hug. Misty, thanks for capturing that picture. And it was just so real though. It was like that to me was success. And it had nothing to do with me. Like it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, that is what felt so good. And where you can't always think about like when I built this business, I didn't have time. When I built this business, I was exhausted and I made it work. So whatever your situation is, don't cop out because of an excuse. That you can do this regardless of if you're doing it full time or not or whatever. But I always think about, man, so many people on Team Happy and Fit are transforming in every area of life, but also like it is going levels deep with paychecks too. And I just need you to know that. Like that is powerful, that there's no scarcity in that. It's literally, if you believe that you can, you will. There's no scarcity. I think about Alpena, Michigan, where Trina lives. Everyone's a Beachbody coach there. I swear to you. There's 2 people in Alpena that are in the Million Club, soon to be 3. In Alpena, there's 3, and it's all in Trina's downline, 3 or 4 that are above 5-star. Like, you guys, Alpena literally doesn't even have a stoplight. There's no scarcity in this, so don't think that there is. And Ashley, yes, teams don't just happen. Team Happy and Fit, this culture just didn't like magically appear because we hit a goal or did whatever. It was a decision of something that I wanted to create, and it starts now. And I love that you're doing that because you don't wait until 1-star. You don't wait until this or that. You do it now, and it may not look like what you want it to look like because right now you have Team Happy and Fit to model. But this is the thing, when Team Happy and Fit was Team Extreme, didn't look like Team Fit and Free. That's for sure. Didn't look like anything that Sarah Morrison was doing, but I believed and I knew what I wanted my culture to look like. And now it's awesome. Elizabeth, last one. Go ahead, sister.
Can everyone hear me? Perfect. Okay. I just wanted to, I know we are running out of time, so I'll make it quick. My ticket to Summit was kind of last minute. And so I stayed with a group who wasn't part of this team. Most of the girls, I'd say, in the house weren't part of Team Happy and Fit. And I actually got to spend some time with Team Happy and Fit later on during Summit. And the difference in the team dynamic just blew my mind. It was almost like night and day. You know, I'm not going to say who I was staying with just because, you know, I do respect them and they were very nice. But there was just a lot of negativity I felt, and I just didn't really feel super comfortable with that. But once I had lunch with part of Team Happy and Fit, it was completely different. There was compassion. There was genuine compassion for other people. There was so much kindness and so much caring for other people. Like, I remember with the other group of girls I was with, we had an Uber driver that was chatting with us and being nice and telling us about Indianapolis, and they were all like making fun of him behind his back in a group chat, and that just broke my heart because he was being kind and he was being compassionate, and it made me super uncomfortable. And being with Team Happy and Fit, I know that nothing like that would happen because we care about people no matter who they are. And so I just wanted to say thank you for showing me your true compassion.
Oh, we love you so much. You guys, I was literally like, you know how like you scan a room and then you're not really like zoning in on everyone's face all the time? And I was like, hey, like kind of like rushing. And then I like stopped and I like locked eyes. I was like, what are you doing here? It was everything. And I'm so glad that we can have breakfast and lunch. And I love that you were able to hang out. And I think what's cool is no one's ever perfect. Like our team is definitely not perfect. But the thing is if you in your heart know that you're doing this for the real reason, I've had my integrity questioned a lot. Like as your leader and as a mentor, outside, inside of our team, I've had people question me. But at the end of the day, it's not my job to prove what my heart believes, that I'm just going to live it out. And so if that's enough, then it will create the culture that needs to be. And if I'm really truly coming from a place, people can forgive me or realize that they maybe jump to conclusions. But at the end of the day, people not points, right? But you get to create what it is that you want. And I just love that Elizabeth had a different experience with two different lenses. And it's kind of cool to know, like, I belong here. This is who I want to identify with. This is what makes me proud. And I honestly think that this is why this is so easy for me to talk to with people, because I'm so proud. I literally am so proud of this team. I love this team so much because of you individually. When I get to see you all transform or see breakthroughs, or I would say, like, I told Eric, I said, Eric, it was so cool because I would just see in the Summit page all these different people hanging out and doing all these different things and like going whatever. And I was like, they're doing that on their own. They're choosing their experience. And I have nothing to do with that. And that felt really good. So Elizabeth, thanks for sharing your heart. We appreciate that a lot. And you are so compassionate and loving, and you are so meant to be here. And for those of you who went to Summit, I'm so glad. I'll definitely want to hear more of your takeaways. Unpack. I'm speaking to myself because 5 of you have not packed or unpacked like me. Rewrite your notes. And then I want you to share your goals. But the biggest thing too is, like, you guys all gave me like 1 to 3 takeaways. Implement that, whatever that means. Like Kente, if yours is faith over fear, what does that look like? Is that through posting? Is that through sending messages to people that you know would really love this? Is that putting yourself out there, like in your post today where I was literally fist pumping? And someone said, okay, what said a girl comment, and I got so defensive, like reading it, and I was like, maybe they're friends and it's cool or whatever, but I wanted to be like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, because I got you, but it could be like no big deal. But literally, I was like, keep going, despite anyone that would do anything, and maybe that's what that looks like. You all are incredible. I love you all so much, and we're just getting started. Like, I feel like I'm just getting started, and I've been in this for 4 years. So love you all very much. Let's take a picture real fast. Everyone leans in. I'm going to hit end record.